morning, everyone. It's Mel from Everything Marmy. Okay, so I'm going to hopefully get this party started. And we are on Wednesday. And I got to move some sticky tabs to make sure that I have the right date because, let's see. Oh my gosh. Is it the 17th today? Don't even know. Don't even know, you guys. No, it's a 10th. It's a 10th today. Oh my God. Oh, I miss coffee and I forgot my water. Of course I did. And I need some. So please pause, grab your coffee as I fiangle around this pile of stuff I'll tell you about in just 1 second. Okay. I'm so sorry. It takes a village, man. Not just to raise your children, but to set up for a video. Okay, so I have this homemade binder that I made. And I got a message, a DM, asking me to show you how to make this. Okay, so the next time I go to the Dollar Tree, I will find a similar binder, because I don't think I have any in the house, but if I do, I will certainly use it. These, however, were little grab bags, and I might have something similar in the house, but they're not going to be these little candies. And this I made when I was in the crafting community a long time ago, and I attached them to I don't even know what they're called anymore, you guys. Oh my God, what are they called? They are called, I can't remember. That's pretty sad. But they're these cards. Here, I'll just grab something similar. Let's see, do I have anything? Okay, forget it, because like the video will be forever. But like, you take these 3x2 cards and you decorate them and send them to people, and they exchange them with you. And yeah, so I made some of these and decorated those, and one day I'll show you, but right now I'm just going to move on. So Heather, was it Heather? I'm sorry. I will show you how to make this. It's not hard, okay? It's not hard. You just rip out the metal thing, put in some stuff, but you know, like I say, it's not hard, but I do also understand that if you don't know how to do something and somebody tells you it's not hard, that's not helpful. I've been told that before. Oh, it's not hard. And I'm like crying at the counter of Shoppers Drug Mart, because to me it is flipping hard. So, you know, yeah. Okay, so in this book, I have put a lot of notebooks. These notebooks, you guys, are Jaw brand. This book I assembled a while ago, and some of it's going to be ultra shiny. Some don't need to be decorated. Maybe I don't need to decorate any of them. This one I kind of like to. It's only got 40 sheets. This one has inspirational quotes in it, which, you know, that's commonplacing, and I love the grid. Okay, I love how these are squared off grid. So they're mostly decorated, but say they weren't, because I have a bunch of books that are like covered in black paper, and then for those books, I would, you know, I went through some papers that I have, and I would just come along and decorate them with, you know, papers that I had, again, when I was like crafting and putting together my own books. And like, see here, I could paste that in. I could still paste these in. In fact, I had to move a bunch of crap to get to, I have these like paper containers. They're 12 by 12s and they hold papers. You know, you could put these in there, and then, you know, like if you get these sets, these paper studio sets, they come with all sorts of like stickers and stuff. And then I found even more stuff. Well, I have stuff, guys, okay? Not even gonna lie. So this is coffee. I can use these in my rings, but you know, it was just fun going through it, you know? This one I can use. It's very thick, this paper though, too thick, I'm thinking. These are double-sided. So you can take any notebook, basically, like any, I don't know, like say you got a composition notebook, and do it the same thing. And just, if you don't like the composition notebook, you could just cover them up. And then, you know, these have tags, things like that. So I wanted to take a moment and say, yes, you can decorate. Will I in this video? No. No, I won't. But you could. You could be very, very, very creative. Where am I going to put these papers? Over here. Okay. So this video is about like a resource for all of the various different things that I put on sticky tabs that get lost, that like I'm completely enamored with. And where is my favorite book of all times? Did I not bring it over? You guys, this would be a tragedy if I have to leave the camera one more time. I get so annoyed at myself, you guys. Oh, here it is. And I didn't have to. Okay. Because I have all these books down at my feet. Now, you guys, I'm a book fanatic. I'm a book fiend. And I have, in the past, been a very heavy reader. Lately, not so much. Okay. One of my favorite books of all times, I'll take it out of the plastic bag. The reason I've got it in the plastic bag is because this book is like gold to me. I've purchased it 3 times. Once I found it thrifted, and I gave it to my therapist because, you know, like I just sprayed it with like Clorox and then aired it out. So it was fine. And it was in good nick anyway, because I got it from a reputable source. But this is Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet. Now, this is not translated by Stephen Mitchell. It's the original translator is M.D. Herter Norton. Okay. However, I want to read you something here, and some of you are going to like groan. And you can see that I do have tabs, okay? I haven't, like, I don't think I highlighted anything in here. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay, so this here I found in my early 20s. It was written in reference to something, and you know, I spent a decade of my life trying to find the source of this particular quote. Now, the quote that I found was from Stephen Mitchell. This isn't the same. It doesn't have the same poetic quality when I read it. However, you will soon see why I chased it down. Now it starts by saying, Be patient towards everything that is unresolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves like locked rooms and like books that are written in a very foreign language. This is tongue. Do not seek the answers, which cannot be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, I'm doing this, Stephen Mitchell, and I apologize. Perhaps then you will gradually, without even noticing it, live into the answer. Now, folks, oh my God, when I read that, I had 2 children under the age of 3, 3.5. I was pregnant with my 4th, was married for 4.5 years, and I felt like I had no direction in my life, nothing. And I kept saying to the highest of the high, like, please, like, what's my point? Even though I had these babies and my husband and, but I myself felt this emptiness inside of me because my path had taken a completely different course. I was going to be a writer, and I was going to be in New York, and I was going to be this, and I was going to be that. My whole life I had worked to do that directional stuff. In fact, at that very age that I was when I found this quote, I would have just probably been graduating from Simon Fraser University, where I'd won a full scholarship, which was one of 4 ever given in 5 years. And I had to give it up, which I do not now at 53 ever regret doing, because out of that came my beautiful, beautiful eldest daughter. And I found this quote, and suddenly things started to make sense. I can't possibly figure out the answers to my life because I have to live my way there. And I have to do it one step at a time. That's only one of these letters, you guys. There are, in this, 10 letters. Let me give you some background about this particular book. Rainier Marie Rilke is I think it's Czechoslovakian? No, German lyric poet. But I'm pretty sure it was Czechoslovakian. 1898. And from 1903 to 1908, he wrote a series of remarkable responses to a young would-be poet on poetry and on surviving as a sensitive observer in a harsh world. So he took the time of his life to write to a young man who wanted to be like him. Now, Rilke himself was getting quite famous, but he was too poor to buy his own stuff. He had friends that would invite him to their estates, and he would go and stay there. Now, he was married, and his wife Clara was an artist, and they had a little girl. And to find out more about all of that, I'll let you investigate if that interests you. That's not the point of why I'm bringing this out. The point of why I'm bringing this out is there are quotes that I want to put in here, okay, from this book. And I've only, I think, outlined the one, because that was the one that I searched. So I need to go through it again and use highlighter. Any number of them will do. It won't matter. I do have, in this next book, this Organized Now, I do have these Post-its. I have many Post-its, you guys, like all over the place. I have Post-its. So it doesn't matter which ones I use. And I have various different books that I want to record. Now, in this book, there are 9 books I've got in here. Let's count them. Let us count the ways. So this one has 120 sheets. Same with this one. So that's 2. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's beautiful. 8, 9. Wow, I've got 10. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one for the moment. And we're just going to work on this one for now, just to clear off this huge book here. So what am I going to do? Well, the way that I've commonplaced in the past when I was doing my own studies and things like that is I would collect up some books that I thought I would read in 3 months or 6 months or a year. I don't recommend personally to go past the year. So as most of you know, I've been on this huge decluttering of my books. I literally have so many books because I'd read a book and it would become part of my heart, okay? Till I had to go and get this because they were taking over my life. Some of my hobbies were taking over my life. And I could never get rid of this. It's like I collect Bibles. I can't explain it, you guys. Everywhere I go, I'll find a Bible. I have to grab it. I'm not a religious person. I am a deeply spiritual one. But I still have to grab it. And maybe it's the paper. Maybe it's the reason that I love Tomoe River paper because of that thinness. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is for a long time, I would not read fiction. I would read history. I love bibliographies, autobiographies, geography, astronomy, you name it. Then I got into of course, literature. I've got one right here. My daughter and I recently went into, and I left the tag on for this purpose. We recently went into Value Village after donating, and this book for $5.99 was a steal. It's Discovering Literature. And it's a 2nd edition, which, look at the shape of this book, you guys. It was owned by South Island Distant Educational School. And the year on it, and this paper is super thin too, you guys. 1997. So I will get any book under the year 2000. After that, no. Why? Because I have my reasons. Okay? I didn't even go into here. And a lot of people look at these books like they're school books, and yes, but I self-educate myself for my own reasons. And so I didn't go into the contents. Here's the fiction, here's the poetry, there's the drama, and then it says what kind of fiction, the characters, the plot, the point of view, symbols, themes, style. before I continue, I should let you all know that I am a writer. I believe actually we all are writers. Let me put that into context. If you pick up a pen and you sit and you put that pen on a piece of paper, or even if you type into a computer, and you do that regularly, this is key. If you are sitting, putting time into any type of story, anything, you are a writer. Okay, that's the definition. Many people I've heard define writers as published. Now, I am published, yes. But I argue that you don't have to be a published writer to be a writer. We are writers, okay? That's a social stigma, in my personal opinion, okay? Now, that's not to say that I haven't worked hard, that I haven't taken classes. Yes. It's not to say that I'm perfect. You know, I've had teams of people that help me, absolutely. But if you are creative enough to put something down on paper and to organize your thoughts and to make a story out of it, if you explore that area of your life, you are a writer, you know? So I absolutely read up on themes and metaphors and patterns and imagery and words and symbols and personas and all of these things which are clearly in this book. And I mean, this book is like massive. It is a big old book. It's over 1,788 pages, and then it has the biography of all the poets in here, which I would imagine would then have the biographies of all the fictional writers, and it also has a glossary of literary terms, etc., etc. This one book, you guys, would probably take me, if I was to go into a deep dive of just this book with no life whatsoever, 3 months at 8 hours a day. Even deeper if I wanted to go. Okay? So why do I say that? Well, because I have more. So I have that. And I only paid $6 for this book, which I'll remove the stickers. So this book here, I'm seeing something. What is it I'm seeing? Is that a bookmark in there? Yeah. There. Something folded. Some little... Somebody's make a little paper thing, but I want to check. Yeah, so... Oh, this is Shakespeare, Hamlet. Okay, so I'll leave it in there. Okay, so then I have other books that when I was in my garage with my daughter. Oh, this one too I found. Sorry, did I knock the camera? I have to check. So this book too is The Empowered Mind, How to Harness the Creative Force Within You. Again, this was $5.99. Now, at Value Village, if you buy 4 books, you get 1 free. Plus, we had a coupon. So, I think she got like 2 books. I got 3. So, again, it's a nice hardcover book. I'm not sure the date on this one. 1994. Discover Your Creative Force. Oh, look. Bookmark. Love it. Little bonus. It's not as big as the last one, so I don't know what order I'll do, but look at this. I didn't even know. The title caught my eye. So this is obviously a workbook of some sort. Assessing my energy needs, my good qualities. Oh, wow. Identifying my I can'ts, changing my I can'ts into cans. What is this? Personality traits, which to change and how to change them. Okay, well, that's debatable. I hear this all the time. There are things that you're born with that you think are quote unquote bad. What is bad? Bad is a word that is very loose. So I never called my children bad. I always said they had their quirks. And you have those quirks for a reason. Can they be changed? I don't know. Can they be altered? Probably. But don't ever lose your sense of self to please anybody else. You have your unique qualities for a reason. Now, if you're an asshole, yeah, you might want to consider. But those people generally aren't that self-aware. If you're self-aware enough to know that you have things that you need to, I don't know, adjust, maybe, you're already on the right path. Don't beat yourself up. Please. People who don't know that, they're not going to care. So be wary is what I'm trying to say when you see these kind of things, okay? These self-help books, I don't know. I think that sometimes they try to help, but they do more harm than help. And they make you confused. I think listening to your inner self is probably more important than any words on a page. And remember, these are only one person's opinion. That's it. I'm just going to take this piece of paper and put it in there for now while I have a drink of water, while I muse here for a second. My apologies if that guzzles. Yeah, remember that when you get a book like this is one person's opinion. This is the author's opinion. Ginny Graham Scott's opinion. That's it. That's one person's opinion. You do not have to take one person's opinion and take it to heart. But if it helps you and it works for you, why not? Finding new paths to a goal. So it caught my eye, The Empowered Mind. I thought, okay, I'll try it. Again, this is something I want to put in my Commonplace book and put it in my, what I'm going to use as a metaphor, my scrapbook bookshelf, my mind's eye bookshelf, where I don't literally look at the book, but I have a book that I can scan down and say, oh, okay. And then hopefully I can go online and get this book, the picture. I see people doing it, so I know it can be done. So that I can say, okay, I want to work on this book at this point. And then I have, let's see, what else have I got? Okay, I've got The Best Things You Can Eat. Again, David Grotto, one person, for everything from aches to Z's. So I'm curious. Okay, I've had GI issues for a couple of years. I want to know what this individual has to say about it. And there's so many books on the topic of nutrition that people are ultimately confused. So for me, a Commonplace book is not only reading the book, but my opinions of the book, the quotes of the book, the suggestions, the highlights. There's quite a lot that would go into it. Right now, what I'm doing is just giving you an overall of what I would do. Most people who have Commonplace books have an idea of how they do it. If you've never done it before, I'm just giving you an idea of how I would do it. And I'll show you in this notebook so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. And I'm going to show you a couple of other ones. So This one is called The Next 100 Years. I found this in a free library, and I thought, I'm interested. So I looked at the date. This is by George Friedman, and it's obviously written by somebody in the States, and it was written later, January 2010. So I thought, oh, okay, well, I want to know what this person has to say. Again, it's history, but it's, again, somebody's opinion. And I think it's important to remember that it's somebody's opinion and to do your own research, right? So essentially that's what I'm doing. I just pray I'm in frame so that you guys can see this, because as you guys know, I have a lot of books. Okay, this, another YouTuber recommended it, 81 Days Below Zero. This particular individual was in Alaska. The plane went down and they lasted 81 days before they were captured. The incredible survival story of a World War II pilot in Alaska's frozen wilderness. I don't read a lot of fiction, but you know what? That caught my eye. Look at this, the writer's idea thesaurus. So I bought a whole bunch of books. There was like 6 or 8 of them that came for one price, and I bought them, and there's still a couple I haven't read, so I really want to read that. And then oh my goodness, these ones. Okay, one of the best kinds of books that I love, you guys, are Reader's Digest books. I love them for arts and crafts because you can turn one of these. I think my house book is a Reader's Digest book. But this one's Household Hints and Handy Tips, the most comprehensive, best organized, hardest working collection of how-to facts and shortcuts. I think it's really key that people have books like this in their house in case the internet goes down, because you won't have anybody to tell you what to do. So I have that one. I have another Reader's Digest Action Guide, What to Do in an Emergency, When Seconds Count, First Aid in the Home and at Work, Emergencies, like natural disasters, crime, alcohol, and drugs. Okay. And another Reader's Digest, Did You Know? New insights into a world that is full of astonishing facts and outstanding stories. You know, guys, like, these are great. And the pictures are wonderful. And, you know, there's Einstein and, you know, like, talks about body language and, like, cities and civilizations. And, you know, like, there's a lot of history in here. I just really love Reader's Digest, and it's got a tag on it, $5.99, and then 504 absolutely essential words. You guys know I'm obsessed with words. Words are very interesting, and there's obviously exercises. So it's another writer's book of, see, I didn't write in this. I must have bought this thrifted. So maybe it was to do with the course. I don't know. And the last one is Off-Grid Survival, Projects Bible. Now, I have a number of these, you guys, because, well, what can I say? I'm a prepper in a way. I've talked about this before, but I'm not going to get into it now. So anyway, I have a variety here of books. I wanted to show you so that we can move on to what I'm going to do. Oh, and this last one is, let me just move this other Reader's Digest stuff off of here. Oh, you guys, I hope you don't find this too boring. That's why I wasn't going to do this. Okay. This is the Mind Map book, and this is by Tony Buzan. So I don't have the cover, but wow, look at that. How beautiful is that? I just got to check the time, you guys, because I have to make a phone call at 8 a.m. in order to make a doctor's appointment. Like, and it was published in 93. Yeah. And The Amazing Brain. I'm always curious. Memory. I want to know. I want to know what's going on in my neurosynapses, and it's amazing to me how our brains imitate like as above as below, you know. The Fibonacci cellular structure, like all of it's the same. Like, to me, I just want to know. So this book might be bland on the outside, but there's a lot. So because I have so many books, and I mean, this is just a little bit. How do I know, first of all, which ones to start with? Well, I take a notebook like this. And you saw that I had like 10 in there. And I am going to take a ruler. And do I have a pencil? I know I have a pencil. Well, actually, I don't need this big old metal ruler. And I want to first of all fold this book back. And I think I'm going to give this first page, fold it back too. And I'm going to draw a line. Now, what this book is going to be for me is the essentials of what books are on my radar. So I'm going to take one of my favorite pens, and I'm just going to start by Organize Now. Now, what's important for me is who it's by, Jennifer Fordberry. And then also, I want to write the year. I really like the colors in this book too. I mean, it's just so inviting. And the reason I want to do the Organize Now is because obviously I have a lot of books, right? So she wrote this book in 2008. Copyright 2008. Okay, and I want to write how many pages. Oh, and she's got other books here that she's done. It's kind of cool. So I'm gonna say it's 240 pages, but it isn't actually. It's 239, but I'm gonna say 240. Total pages 240. And I want to date this as well, but I want to date it in a different color. So right now, today's date, we talked about this, didn't we? It's the 10th. Wow. September, I'm just going to say September 2025. Okay. And this is, I want to make some points about this book. It's an activity book. Interaction book. And it's bi-weekly. So, bi-weekly. I like that. So, according to this book, every week is organize your mind. Okay. Organize your mind. Week 2 is organize your schedule. Week 3 is organize your cleaning schedule. Now, I don't have to do all of these, okay? But I do want to identify the chapters of interest. So this ties into planning because essentially I'm taking myself and I'm making myself into a student. And so this course, if we want to call it a course, is like being self-taught, you know, and it's important to keep your brain active and learning all the time. So I'm going to star that, okay? I'm not going to number it. It's not important to me, but it's definitely a non-fiction book. Now, I'm not going to put anything else on that page. That's just one book. Now, a lot of people do books and annotations and all of that very differently. I don't. I've seen people write all the books down, but what I like to do is as I'm going through it, I like to make notes. Okay, well, here it is October. Did I get very far? Did I try it out? Did I annotate? Did I this? Did I that? Because there will be a like a key code. And I will just write this down here. So I will, let's see, do I have some washi? Because I don't want it to stick hard to the paper. I said stick. I don't know why. So I want to do a key code. Make key code. And I have to remember too that, like, say if I was going to uni or college, what's the most courses I would do? Some find 3 enough, some find 4 enough, some find 5 enough. But if you have a full-time life or a full-time job, 2 might be enough, right? If you're struggling with health, 1 might be enough. So I don't want to overdo it. So this is why I'm doing this book, is to identify in my own brain, okay, well, which book is going to be the priority? and why. And this is why I'm doing it this way. So then I turn over the page, and I'm only going to do this one more time. Draw another line. And this line is important, like I said, okay, because I might want to come along and use the key code and do something down this line. I might want to write notes like, oh, this book was a total waste of time, wouldn't recommend it to anybody, blah, blah, blah. These here are personal notes along the side. And just so you see it clearer, I'll write it here. These are personal notes. Not quote-unquote professional notes. So anything that I write under here is what I would do in school, and I didn't like writing with that pen, so I'm going to change that. And I'm going to go through all of these books here, and I'm going to pick, do I want to do any of those? The best things you can eat, The Empowered Mind. Okay, so I like this one and The Empowered Mind. So I'm going to write Organize Now, and then the next one is The Best Things You Can Eat by David Grotto. The neat thing is that if I read another book, and I have read a few, that should be a capital LDN, I can compare them, and then I can take this, put it into another book where it's the food comparison book, right? So again, I want to go back to this. This is nonfiction. And I know I wrote that down here. Right there. But I really want it up here. This is also nonfiction. So fiction books to me are different altogether. Those are fun books. And can you guys see? What are we at for time? 47 minutes. Okay. I got to make sure because, yeah. So, again, it was copyrighted 2013. Now, when it comes to food, I'm on the line, you guys. Unless you're growing it yourself, see, somebody's been in here and like done their own annotating, see? And two things occur to me when I find these books on the donation pile. One, they were donated because they were no good. Like there's things on jelly beans in here. So they're talking about sugar and diabetes and stuff like that. So I like to deep dive anyway, but this is 314 pages long. How many chapters are we looking at? Let's go to the index. Ten. Chapters 1 through 10. Okay, so what else did I put in this book? Okay, I want to remove that from there and put that on the first page. Bi-weekly. Oh, see, if I'm not careful, I don't know what I mean. I put bi-weekly, weekly setups. So how many weeks, Mel? And that's the thing. Already, for Organize Now, I did not write this properly because bi-weekly, I'm like, I don't understand what that means. So how many weeks does she have in here? I need to be more specific. So she's got 52 weeks in here. 1 through 52 weeks. Now I know. So I need to be specific in my information. And I hope you guys, I hope this doesn't sound as elementary as it sounds to me. But sometimes I need to talk this stuff out for myself. And so these so far are the 2 books. Okay. And now the 3rd book is also nonfiction. And this is the last one I'm going to do. And you guys, for those of you that have stayed to the end, bravo. It is planning. Commonplace planning comes in all sorts of different forms. This is a book, Commonplace Planning. It's like homeschooling for yourself, okay? So here is personal notes. This is book 3 that I've got here. Doesn't mean that I have to do it in that order. I'm giving each book its own page. That way, if I don't want to do it, I'll just fold it over. It's also a nonfiction book. It is The Empowered Mind. By Ginny Graham Scott. $19.94. It has how many pages? I go right back to the back of the index, everything. 279 pages. And how is it organized? It is organized into, I think it's also, yeah, it's a workbook. So Organize Now is a workbook. So I'm going to write that as well. Workbook. And then this is a workbook. And sometimes when you're doing it, you have to like think on your feet. Like, how are you going to like deal with this? How do you want to do it? Like, you know, are you going to do all 3 at once? Are you going to do one at a time? Like, I don't know. Also, it has like these intro pages, which are like written in the Latin, like 7 here, you know, so like there's 9, so that's extra pages. The table of contents has wow, chapter 10, chapter 15, chapter 18, and the index. Up to 18 plus index. And it's a workbook. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like much, you guys. Okay, but you got to start somewhere. So it's September. All the kids are back at school. You're at home and you're thinking, I'm bored, but you want to learn something. And this camera is like totally doing its thing. Sorry to say. I need a weight. Come here, you. Okay. Hopefully that'll hold. So essentially, you're going back to school too. Okay? You've got a little notebook. You've got 3 workbooks. Okay? And you've got to look and think of these as school books for you. What do you need in terms of, need a sticky tab. Come here, you. Oh my God, I cannot stretch like that here. Okay. Sorry, you guys. So I'm just going to move those off to the side. You have to come along and say, okay, if there are something that you want to learn, literally on the internet, anywhere, you can learn this. Why do I like books? Because you don't have to be where your phone is, and your phone will distract you. So, what do you need? What supplies do you need? So, for example, you would probably need like some sticky tabs there, a couple of highlighters, right? Like i.e. sticky tabs, highlighters, maybe even like index cards. For me, I look at it as if I'm taking a course in college. So all of this is just part of the whole. And this, for now, is just part 1. Now, I'm only going to probably do a video on this once a month, unless you guys want more. I believe I'm going to take 3 courses. Those 3, they may change. You can literally do any course you want in the world. Anything you want to learn, you have the opportunity of learning it. As for notebooks, you can get a composition notebook from the Dollar Tree for $5 at the Dollar Tree, you guys. You can get everything you need to get started. Free libraries are everywhere, or your local library will give you a library card. and it will take you away from the distractions, or what I call doom scrolling, as do many people, on your phone. So I hope that helped. Yes, it's nice to have a cover. I have, like I said, 10 books in here. Now, this book in here, I will probably use one book per subject. This one's already quotes. So if I'm doing, like, if I'm reading something and I come up with a quote, I've got a quote book assigned. So it's nice to do it this way, but don't forget there's another way of doing it. And that way is the old-fashioned binders with the old-fashioned paper, the 8.5 by 11. These guys here, can I pull it out? These good old-fashioned binders. Okay, with the paper. But guys, look at that. I know I'm up close, but like, this stuff is cheap as chips, and you can do your subjects all in there and just have one little notebook to take with you on the go. So you don't need anything fancy. You don't need leather covers, nothing. Okay? Anyway, I hope this video gave somebody somewhere some insight of why I choose to do commonplace journaling. This is only one aspect of it. There are many other branches of it. But this commonplace that I'm talking about is educational, but there's other methods. And if you all want, I can go into other methods, but I would need to have some responses in the commentary box saying, oh, you want to learn more? Okay. Otherwise, I won't go there, because I could do a series on this, but, you know, I need people on board. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of time. It takes a lot to set up to do this. Anyway, folks, remember, first of all, thank you so much for watching. I know your time is so precious, and we are all perfectly imperfect. You are loved, needed, and wanted far more than you will ever know. Trust me. I hope you have a blessed, beautiful, happy Wednesday, and I will talk to you next time. Bye for now, everyone.